Welcome. My name is Joe Lemire with Sport Techie, and we're thrilled that all of you are joining us for this year's Horizon Summit, our partnership with the San Francisco 49ers. I'm thrilled to introduce An Integrated World, Ticketing in the Digital Age, powered by Sportsdigita. We have Doug Holtzman, the VP of Business Development at Sportsdigita, Chelsea Dill, the Director of Tourism and Corporate Events of the San Diego Padres, and Phil McMullen, Senior Manager, Group Sales and Service with the Minnesota Twins. For those of you motivated to speak on social, we ask that you use the hashtag Horizon Summit, and I will step aside and let the three experts take it from here. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Joe. Thank you. We are so excited to have two of our partners on for today's panel, and I want to say thank you for your participation. I know a lot of people have reached out to me prior to this and are eager to hear your thoughts about everything that is going on. So as we all know, this is a crazy time, but we're all in this together. So let's hop right into this great panel discussion. And then after, we'll leave some time for questions. So tell us about yourself and what you're responsible for at your organizations. So Chelsea, you first.
Thanks, Doug. Well, just a little bit on my background. I actually started my sports career in a group sales role with the Dallas Stars hockey team for the NHL. And then had a great opportunity through some networking to come to the West Coast and join the San Diego Padres as a group sales rep. I actually have managed to work my way up in our leadership team over the years, running our group sales team in the past, our hospitality efforts. And now I am in my 10th season with the Padres. My current responsibilities are to run the strategic sales efforts for our business that is outside of Southern California, as well as larger game day events. And I also manage our tour business here at the ballpark.
Great.
Yeah, my name is Phil McMullen. I'm in my 9th season with the Minnesota Twins, and this is my 15th year working in sports. My responsibility with the Twins is overseeing our group sales and service team, which is responsible for renewing and selling new game day group and hospitality outings with the club. My start in sports started with the lacrosse loggers in the Northwoods League way back 15 years ago. And then I progressed through minor league baseball, including with the Colorado Springs Sky Sox, spent some time with the Colorado Mammoth, New Hampshire Fisher Cats before joining the Twins as a group sales executive, and then eventually rolling into my role here as a senior manager of group sales with the Twins.
You know what is great about both of your backgrounds is that you not only had previous experience at other places, but you've been at your teams for 9 and 10 years respectively and have worked your way up. So I love this when hearing about all this in the sports business. So let's move on to some other questions. You know, during this time, I have seen teams give exclusive virtual experiences to clients and prospects. So one example was the Marlins. So they had their executive chef at the ballpark give their members and home run rewards card members kind of that at-home live event where he shared how to make some of his signature dishes. So with that, what are some things that your team is currently doing to stay connected with prospects, clients, fans, et cetera, during this time? Phil?
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Doug. Focus number one for our sales and service team is to remain in contact with clients by phone, email, text, to provide information and updates, as well as be a resource on any questions they have. A couple of the more unique touch points that we've rolled out, and I'll give a shout out to Craig Gums on our season ticket retention team because he's really been driving the bus on these, include our virtual fan forums with current and former players, as well as our virtual lunch and learn programs. And to dive a little deeper, our virtual fan forums, it's an opportunity for season ticket holders and group organizers to jump on a call with a current or former player, ask them questions, listen into some of those behind the scenes stories, and some more unique things that have happened. You know, guys have started touring us around their house. LaTroy Hawkins actually ended up bringing us into his trophy room. So hearing some of those stories and just having that interaction with those clients has been really cool. And then our lunch and learn program, it's another video call initiative that we offer out to season ticket holders and group organizers. And when we were initially thinking about this, me personally, you know, I think ticket salespeople are the coolest and smartest individuals in an organization. But we elected to take a step back and realize, you know what? We have a lot of experts in our organization, and I bet our fans would love to hear from these folks. So we tapped on the shoulder of our head groundskeeper to put together a lawn maintenance program that we invited ticket holders to participate in. We had our strength and conditioning coaches and trainers jump on a call and had fans participate in that. We had our head nutritionist put on a session on nutrition. We did a mental health awareness program with our team psychologist, which is important, all the time, but especially important during these times. So we felt that was really important. And we have an upcoming call with our team photographer, which we're certainly excited about. A couple of other options we're exploring are some micro events with having reps put together some micro events and maybe do some Twins trivia as well. So always looking for new ideas in that category.
Very cool. Chelsea, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, similar to Phil, I think the first thing for us that was really important was making sure that we were in contact with not only our members, our group sales clients, suite clients, event clients, and our regular fan base. So we did put some strategic efforts together to make sure that the phone calls, the text messages, and the emails were all happening from the very beginning. Really, like he said, being a resource and making sure that they knew we were there for them. And then it went virtual, and very quickly we wanted to make sure that we engaged with our fans as much as possible during these times. So we have a lot of content that comes out on a regular basis. On Mondays, we really focus on kids and families, where you can connect with the content that we have for education, different worksheets. And then we've taken it a little bit further. On Fridays, we still have our MLB The Show. Our team still pops on, and we really try to replicate the experience that we know fans are missing, whether it be making sure they're being engaged with via content that we can provide virtually, and making sure that our reps and our sales and service team are creative in their efforts and how to talk to their clients. So we've really given them that autonomy to have ideas and make sure that they're engaging with their clients as much as possible, even if it's in person.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So I'm looking at some of the people that are on this are going to laugh at me when I ask this next question, because if you would ask me 10 years ago what my quote unquote tech stack looked like at a team, I would have probably laughed and said, what's a tech stack, right? And then I would have said, oh, what do you mean? What do we do? And I would have said, well, maybe some email. We kind of have a CRM system and PowerPoint. That's basically what we do. That has changed so much, right? Every single year it's changing, and especially right now. So with that, what does your current tech stack look like, and what technologies are critical to your organization right now? So Chelsea, why don't we start with you?
Sure. So for us, the tech stack is definitely, being here for 10 years has grown tremendously. And thank goodness that we have built that over the years, because right now it has really become our go-to. As a team who really focused on being able to bring clients and people down to the ballpark 365 days a year to see our products and go on site visits, we've had to really transition to other models. So our current stack includes our CRM, it includes Tableau for reporting. Our phone system is Mitel. We're really relying heavily on Teams, Microsoft Teams, to engage with our staff and our clients on a regular basis. We didn't stop. We kept going. We have all of our meetings online now. And then, of course, we also have Digideck, which has been the most important for us. We actually went through a complete refresh late last year as we were announcing our new team colors. And we would have not known that we would be having these experience right now, but our team really, to show the spaces that we have and replicate the experience of being at the ballpark, has been through Digideck, specifically through some of those new premium spaces and premium clubs that we just finished as this happened. And the only way that we're able to really show them those, for people who bought into those memberships prior to this happening, or who still are interested in a product for going into next year, we rely on Digideck to showcase the ballpark, the spaces, and the options that they have.
Love hearing that. And Phil, how about you?
Yeah, definitely. I echo a lot of the things Chelsea mentioned. From a CRM perspective, we use Core, which overlays with Microsoft Dynamics. Zoom meetings, as everybody is using it at this time, as we're on right now, has been really critical for us. Reply By is a tool we use that allows our reps to text from their landline number, which is really helpful just to maintain lines of communication open with those folks. Zoom Info is a B2B database we use to pull our B2B leads and allows reps to go in and do a little bit of a deeper dive and get direct contact information from folks. DigiDeck, which I'll dive into a little bit more in a second here. DocuSign we use for hospitality agreements, Groupmatics and Fivo, third-party ticket options we use for some additional group programs we run. And then the MLB Ballpark app, which I'll throw into the tech stack as a mix as well. As we look at things that are critical during this time, CRM is, as it is critical all the time, but especially critical now as we're trying to track responses from customers. And we're trying to make decisions as an organization as it relates to credits and refunds and things like that. Zoom meetings has been really critical for staying in contact with our staff and offering unique engagement opportunities, as I had previously mentioned. And similar to what Chelsea had mentioned around DigiDeck, extremely critical as we look to continue our sales conversations while our team and prospective clients continue to work from home. It's important for us to bring the ballpark energy and visuals to them, obviously, as they're trying to make the decisions and make those purchases while we can't bring them down to the ballpark. So it's a really helpful tool for us and will be even more important as we continue to progress our sales towards next year. And then the ballpark app, it's always been critical for fans to be able to access their tickets in the app. We've been trying to find ways to engage with fans through the app during this time. So we actually have a Twins trivia option that's out there right now. We're running Retro Twingo on the app while Retro Twins games are being broadcast on Fox Sports North up here in our market. And we recently rolled out an Essential Partners Passport. And this is an opportunity for fans to visit some of our partners, get their passport digitally stamped, and for a chance to win some prizes. So some unique ways that we're trying to use that tool.
It's just, to me, so incredible, the change, right? From, again, 10 years ago to 5 years ago to last year to 2 months ago, and what teams are doing and doing it the right way, and they're succeeding. So it's incredible to hear that of everything that you're using. So it's, speaking of technology, right? As we know, it's not going away, right? With that said, I want sports back. We all want sports back. So how will technology play a role in the future of your team? And then what are some things your organization is thinking about in terms of when you are able to return to play? So Phil, you want to lead off?
Yeah, definitely. Technology continues to play an even more important role. Whether even without the current times, it would even be playing a more important role. So we're continuing to progress towards an all digital world. And with that, I believe technology advances will continue to make our purchasing process more efficient. I feel like that improves every single year as we make improvements in that category. Continue to enhance the security of our tickets and our fans. We continue to find ways and use technology to help our sales reps work smarter and more efficiently. And obviously with technology, it helps improve our data collection and our data usage as well. Some specific areas we're focusing on as we progress towards our return to play is really emphasizing the contactless purchasing, contactless entry and ticket scanning, contactless concession ordering, seat delivery, and then following up on the ballpark app comments, how else can we use this app and other virtual tools to engage with fans in a scenario where maybe we don't have a full stadium or any fans? Are there virtual experiences that we can extend to them to help them give something that they wouldn't have been able to experience otherwise?
Chelsea, how about you?
Similar for us, I think that because we want to make sure that the experience is still the best that our fans can have moving forward, whether it's limited amount of fans in the ballpark, no fans, I think our leadership team, our marketing team relies heavily on looking into what that experience will look like for our fans. And that ranges from the fan who maybe comes to one game a year to our membership base, which is used to a certain level of experience. Our group sales team who is trying to, understand what is next for some of those group outings that we were going to have. Do we replicate them in a virtual way? So that is a major focus of ours over the next, couple of weeks, and we've been working on that for the past couple of months. Like Phil said, that is the future. And so for us, I think relying on the Ballpark app has been a really big for us. We are almost 100% do not have any paper tickets anymore, which is something that a lot of teams had already moved towards. And we will continue to make sure that that experience is the best that it can be, as it is also still different and new. But also, what does concessions look like? Are we going to go cashless? Are there other systems we need to have in place if we do go cashless, so that people who don't carry cash with them have the opportunity to still get cash? What does that look like? And then, of course, expanding on those areas that already have in-seat service or concession pickup, what does that look like, and making it the best that it can be. Certainly, people will look to sports and venues to be the best and set the bar for other companies and experiences. So I think for us, we really want to make sure that it is the best that it can be.
Interesting. And just a quick note to everybody, if you all have questions for us that you want us to get to at the end, I see a few up there. Feel free to shoot a note in the comments section, the chat section, or the Q&A, and we'll try to get to them. So, at Sportsdigita, we represent over 400, teams. And what's crazy is I've noticed that more and more that teams are not only working with other teams in their own leagues, but other teams in other sports. And a lot of times, even within their own cities. Now, again, if you would ask this question 5-10 years ago, you probably wouldn't have said any of this. So number one is, are you working with other MLB teams and or sports teams to collaborate? And if so, what are some of the things that are coming out of these conversations? Chelsea?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that one of the positives coming out of this is, while we were all still already talking to each other, it was basically, the norm. And now we're really driving each other to be creative, to collaborate with other teams. And we do it from all areas of our businesses. So what is our service team? What can they get from other groups? What are they doing? Our group sales team, we've really challenged them to reach out to other representatives at other teams to see, are there new ideas coming out of this, new themes and ways we can approach this side of the business. And then, of course, on the other leagues, it's been really important for us to make sure we have those conversations to know, for the ones that have already announced that they're coming back and the plans that they have, how they're going to approach what their seasons are going to look like. So we have leadership development chats where we also bring in some of our sales and service representatives to hear from the other groups, just because we also think it's important to help them understand that we're all trying to grow through this and learn as much as possible. So I think one of the integral parts of going through this has been to have more discussions with not only other teams in our league, but also NHL, NBA, NFL, MLS, and see what ideas we can bring to the table for our own team.
Interesting. So with that, and by the way, I do see some questions popping up, more and more popping up, which we'll get to. So in my career, I've been fortunate to have great mentors that have helped me along the way. So from the Steve Shanwalds of the world at the Chicago Bulls to certain Sergio Del Prado, right, at the Padres, who I love. But now I guess I'm the old guy, right? And I try to give back to being a mentor. With that said, what advice would you all give a young seller right now? So Phil, why don't we start with you on this?
Yeah, definitely. My advice is always, when I get asked this question, is always pretty straightforward. Work hard, which you're going to hear from everybody, but it rings very true. So have that number one. Have fun. Fans buy from those that are having fun and are passionate about what they're doing. Be creative. Every year we have a new class of inside sales folks and interns that are coming through, and everyone has a different background and comes in with a different perspective on things. And that's an opportunity to use your unique background to be creative with your sales approach. And to feed off of that, be you. Everybody's got their own approach. Everybody's got their own network and their own abilities. And I think that the opportunity for you to be yourself is really key. And then lastly, network. Anytime you get an opportunity to come in contact with somebody, connect with them and maintain that connection. the sports world, as we know, and Doug, you certainly know, you mentioned the number of teams that you guys work with just alone, the 400 plus, I think you had mentioned. It's a small world when you get into it, and there's an opportunity to use that network when you're looking for, upgrade your current gig or maybe move on to the next gig.
Great advice. How about you, Chelsea?
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think that it is a great opportunity to learn as much as possible. There are so many free resources out there right now to help educate you, to find yourself a mentor, to reach out. I know I've seen a lot of our colleagues even, announce on things like LinkedIn that they're open to helping anybody they can with a conversation and a chat. And that's how we give back. We really enjoy being able to talk to people about our paths. So I would recommend, of course, the networking, but see what resources are out there. Is it an additional certification? Is it one of those tech companies that we use where you could hop on a group like this that's free and learn from it? That's something that these unique times have brought us that we probably wouldn't have had if it hadn't been for this. So right now, using those resources to further yourself and really decide what direction do you want to go. I mean, we always talk about it from inside sales on. Some people aren't meant for this, some people are, and you learn really quickly out of that first year if you are, and if you aren't, it's okay. We want to help you no matter what. So this is kind of that opportunity to really gain some of that insight and see what direction you want to go.
That's great advice. I always tell people, when it comes to advice for it is, number one, you got to work your butt off, right? But number two is don't be afraid to reach out to people and ask questions, because they were in the same exact situation that you were in earlier on in their careers. So let's talk about COVID right now, right? So what would you say are 1 to 2 things that you have learned since COVID? So it could be a lot of answers here. So Chelsea, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, I think for me, I love the sales process. I love selling, and it's been completely the opposite of what I'm used to. And so while I've always learned this, COVID has definitely reminded me of patience, and that patience is extremely important during these times, especially as we wait for more answers and wait to learn more, which I know we're all excited about. But we're on month 3, and the patience process has been extremely important during COVID. I also think that it's a really great reminder of collaboration. That's really already a pillar of our company, but I didn't think that, every time I've heard it, it would mean as much as it does now, which sometimes that collaboration is within the company, outside of the company, and also very fast paced. So things can change really quickly. Have we done the research? Have we worked together? Have we collaborated to make sure that we know whatever happens, we're ready and, can come out of this knowing some new things because we all kept talking and communicating.
I like that. Phil, how about you?
Yeah, a couple of things. Well, one, when we first began to experience our work from home scenario, I certainly got the opportunity to recognize how amazing our technology team was. To be able to set up our entire organization to work from home in a matter of days was unbelievable. So I still think back and like, wow, what an incredible team, and I'm glad they work for us. I've also recognized our sales team working through a lot of scenarios, kids at home or pets, which I've all got to meet several of over the course of the number of video calls we've been doing, but they've been incredible working through the current challenges. I'm certainly thankful for the opportunity to have them on my team. On a more personal level, I've been diving into the meal delivery kits, the delivery services. So it's been a great soft intro for me to try out cooking and eating some different foods that I wouldn't typically go for. I think I've only set the smoke alarm off in my apartment a couple of times thus far, so not bad. But my ballpark hot dog consumption is definitely down this summer.
Too funny. I could say with me is, I think because people kept on not reaching out the right way to people for so long, right? And just relying on emails and text, that they forgot to connect to that person. And I think with, almost like being robots. And I think that people, you're really now showing that you care. So Zoom is able to show it that way, you know, and having these video chats. Now the negative for me is I got to put dim light because I'm not pretty to be seen on Zoom. But honestly, I think it's really showing people that you care with this. I've got one more question, then we're going to go to some Q&As. So Chelsea, this is for you because we talked about this right before this call. You're doing some very cool stuff at the ballpark with graduations, concerts, etc. Can you tell the group about that?
Absolutely, and I know there's a couple of teams that have been able to do this, but props to our events team, our Petco Park events team, for being able to help do some drive-up graduations here at the ballpark in our parking lot and provide a unique experience for students. As we know, it definitely isn't the same as it has been in the past for other seniors. We also were able to donate proceeds from showing Anchorman twice at the ballpark last week, which was really cool for us. And then we ended a great weekend of different unique events in our parking lot, our Lexus parking lot, by having a concert that was kind of a multiple layered, multiple groups performing throughout the day and ended with Switchfoot. So, you know, I think it's great that we were able to collaborate so quickly and come up with these ideas. And I think that that's definitely something we will continue to look at for the future. So again, our Petco Park events team has really done a phenomenal job with being creative.
So cool. So cool. Phil, Alex Sale asked earlier when you were explaining at the beginning of this, he said, what platforms are you using for the virtual events that you're doing?
Yeah, we've been using Zoom primarily for those events thus far. We were exploring Kahoot for some trivia, but we haven't jumped into that entirely yet.
Very cool. Anonymous attendee right there. How do you prepare as a ticketing team with the prospect of no fans this season and perhaps a part of next season? So Chelsea, why don't we go to you on that?
Sure. I think that goes back to being able to be prepared to find a way to create an experience for our fans that is virtual and digital, which we've had a couple of months to really, you know, lay the groundwork of being able to connect with people. That's definitely the next step, though, is how do you recreate being at the ballpark, which I don't think is possible, but we want to make it as close as possible, is that we have specific interviews with coaches and specific interviews with the players. Do we have the in-game experiences still, like someone throwing out the first pitch? We still have our themes where, you know, Friday nights are our parties in the park usually. How do we recreate that at home? So I think that that's what we're looking to do for the foreseeable future. And, you know, being that we've already been working on it pretty hard, collaborating, and our marketing team putting a lot of effort into it, I think that we'll be able to produce a great experience for our fans at home.
That's great.
Yeah,
Bill, what do you think?
Yeah, I can jump in a little bit on that. And, you know, as we think about that, and as a ticketing team, yeah, anybody in ticket sales know that you can't just turn the faucet back on. So as an organization, we're making sure that we're developing strong relationships with our fans, and we're using this time as an opportunity to connect even deeper than what we normally would, just because we wouldn't have time to right now. So we're using this time to further connect with our current clients. And we're also doing some outreach and doing some pipeline maintenance, you know, making sure that our pipeline is prepared for when we can turn that faucet back on and really start activating for whatever season it might be. And, you know, our plans, you know, one plan is going to be, you know, what's it look like as a full capacity, but, you know, having some alternative plans that we can fall back on if necessary. I hope for option one.
For sure. Very cool. And by the way, to Athlete Intelligence, yes, I will be your mentor. Sorry, they just asked that question right there. So it looks like we got time for one, possibly two more. So someone wrote, are your season ticket members engaging with you in the micro events or just viewing the content? Chelsea, what do you think about that?
I think it's a little bit of both right now for a lot of teams, and every team strategy is different. We certainly have had our service reps put on their own small virtual events. I think that one of the things that we're trying to replicate is our service team is used to being able to say, come meet me for an event pregame to catch up and say hello, and how are we replicating that during these times? So It's both. I think the content that our marketing team sends out on a regular basis via email to capture the audience is extremely important, but also that autonomy for our sales team, like our group sales team, who still had 2 of our field trip day classrooms virtually. And that kind of creativity is what we're relying on over the next, couple of months as we continue, especially with the work from home.
For sure. And Phil?
Yeah, the micro events that we're looking to progress towards with our reps, as Chelsea mentioned, would be a full engagement opportunity. So reps would put those together, and those fans would engage with those folks. The events that we've run out there that I chatted about earlier, including the fan forums and our lunch and learns, those are live opportunities that we offer on Zoom Info. So our clients are listening in live, and we actually have a broadcaster from our team that's running the call, and they're asking the questions from our customers live to the individuals that we have on the call.
Interesting. So it looks like we got 1 minute left. Simple question here, the last one. We all talked about it. We miss ballpark food. What's your first ballpark food that you're going to eat as soon as you go back? Phil, go ahead. Start it off.
Yeah, well, at Target Field, I'm a sucker for the Red Cow burger that we have as a local restaurant. That's a lot of bacon and a lot of meat, and it's good.
Fat-free, of course. Fat-free, of course.
Very fat-free, yeah.
And Chelsea, how about you?
I think that as many creative and local options we have here, I'm craving just a regular ballpark hot dog at this point. I can't wait to just have a regular ballpark hot dog. That make me feel a little bit more normal.
For sure. I miss all the food, but as I told Phil earlier, when I go up to Minnesota, the cheese curds probably put me in the hospital, but unbelievable food. So thank you, Chelsea. Thank you, Phil. I mean, this has been great. We had some great question answers from everybody as well that came into this. So let's get baseball back. Let's get sports back. And again, thank you for your insights. I think it really helped everyone.